Kenya, Brazil, Costa Rica, India. These are some places, if you are into wildlife, that you absolutely do want to visit. But I am going to tell you why sometimes this can be very hard. As someone who captures images of wildlife, I have a bucket list, if you want to call it that, of places I wish to visit to capture images of wildlife, film wildlife, photograph wildlife, just experience wildlife in their natural habitat. But before I get into that list, it's going to be a short list because trust me, my list is like gazillion pages long because I want to go everywhere. If I could see every single country, I for sure would. If I could capture every single image of every single wildlife in this world, animal, insects, plants, just everything, I surely would. That would be, well, it is going to be my life's work, right? But anyways, we're going to talk about that later. So one thing that you have to understand about travel or wildlife photography, now let's mix the two together. If somebody is into travel, you already can relate, you know how expensive it can get. So when you go on, maybe social media and you see this picture of a polar bear, you often wonder like how much went into capturing that one image of a polar bear. If you're somebody that's into wildlife photography, then you know it was pretty expensive because you have to factor in flying to where the polar bears are, hotel stay, your equipment. You got to make sure you have the right equipment to be able to photograph polar bears or film polar bears. Because again, you're not going to be like, hey, Mr. Polar Bear, can I get a picture of you up close? You're not going to do that. So you definitely need a long lens, at least something that shoots up to maybe 600 millimeters. But yeah, where are some of the places that I feel are good travel ideas for wildlife? We're going to start with Kenya. I've been to Kenya before, and when I went to Kenya, oh my goodness. That's on my I need to go back list. I've been saying it for a while, and I'm like, I'm saving money so I can go back to Kenya. I'm always saving money, by the way, y'all. So, because again, I have a whole list of places I want to visit, and when you're starting out, it doesn't matter how passionate you are about this topic or how much you want people to see what you see or how much you want to educate people. Like, oh, look, I'm going to go experience this and I'm going to bring you what I'm experiencing or show you this is what they have. This is what is going on here. That doesn't matter when you're first starting out. When you're starting out, a lot of it is going to be self-funded. So I tend to self-fund a lot. I do sell my art to self-fund, but a lot of it will come out of your pocket. And that's fine. It's your passion. It's what you have deemed something you love to do. And for me, it's my life's work, or what I want to be my life's work. I feel like it's when you say, what do I want to be remembered for? That crazy lady with the camera that loves to, talk about wildlife and photograph wildlife and bring up issues concerning them and us. All right, I digress. Now back to Kenya. Again, like I said, I have been to Kenya before, and when I went to Kenya, I saw rhinos, I saw lions, I saw antelopes, giraffes. It was such an amazing experience. But I feel like I need to go back. And the reason I say I need to go back is because I felt like I was not prepared. I was really, really, really like starting out with shooting things that were not just birds then. So I didn't have my lens that I have now, my bigger lens. I didn't have that then. And some of the know-how, some of the knowledge that I have now, I feel like if I go back to Kenya, it's going to be a different experience for me. Because when you absorb, like this video or some of my videos that I share, when you absorb these things, you have like this new knowledge and you see things a little differently. And I feel like Kenya is one place that I would love to visit. So put Kenya on your travel ideas for wildlife. India, oh my goodness gracious. India has some amazing biodiversity. India has, besides those crazy monkeys that they have in India, they have a lot of birds. You see a lot of birds in India, and then you see tigers. But India does have interesting wildlife. So that's one place I would really love to visit, not from just a photography standpoint, though. I would really love to do stories about places in India, because again, you also have the religious aspect of things in India, and how some certain wildlife is sacred to the people, and I find that very interesting culturally. So that's one, or that's two. Another place that I would love, absolutely love to visit for wildlife is Costa Rica. Costa Rica is definitely on my bucket list. And I hope I get to experience Costa Rica either this year or early next year. I'm fingers crossing for this year. Costa Rica for the birds. Costa Rica for the birds. I've seen pictures of people that visit Costa Rica, and I'm like, oh, I have Costa Rica envy. I do. I have, I'm like, oh my God, I want to take a picture of that one. Just experience it, and just be able to say, oh, this is because I observe a lot. I don't just go and take pictures of wildlife. I sit there and I observe their behavior, kind of observe what they're doing, and just kind of experience them. So, in order to be able to really talk about wildlife, sometimes you have to experience it, not just what you're reading in textbooks or what you're reading on the internet or doing your research. It's always interesting to see it for yourself and be like, oh, okay, so they actually really do this. Another place on my list is Brazil, because again, we know that the rainforest is in Brazil. Brazil is one of those places that I would go, not just like, oh, I'm just going to see wildlife, to actually really make an impact. That would be my goal for Brazil. Like, okay, how can I use my voice or lend my voice to helping whatever causes or whatever issues the rainforest is facing. This is what it's facing, so let's talk about it. And then you have a behind the art, Brazil. This is what's up in Brazil. So Brazil is up there, and honorable mention, Australia. I know we've all seen Australians post videos of snakes coming out of their toilets and all kinds of craziness. But yeah, they do have incredible biodiversity in Australia as well. And another honorable mention is Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria, hey. Lagos, Nigeria, I visited last year, and I have found that, well, when I visited last year, I found that Nigeria is incredibly rich in biodiversity. I know the country itself has issues in terms of valuing wildlife, but if you look at the biodiversity and if you start to say, okay, let's start talking about issues and how religion and things play a role in how they see, wildlife, like owls being killed because, oh my gosh, it's your grandmother or village auntie from somewhere that's come to get you, but it's actually not, because it's just a bird. So those factors are things that if me personally, you can visit and just enjoy the wildlife. Me personally, I would want to talk about those issues and call attention to those issues. So those are some places. I know I can sit here and do a 5-hour vlog about places that I want to visit to see wildlife. Botswana is on that list as well. California, you're only going to see birds. So actually, we have a lot of national parks in California that you can see bears, elks, and I will be going to try to see wild horses. Wild horses are on my list. I will be making that trip very soon, and I will document it. That is actually pretty exciting for me, but that's not in California. That's going to be in Nevada. It's a neighboring state. So I'm going to catch a flight to Nevada. Again, the barrier to entry for a lot of wildlife enthusiasts is how long is your pocket? What is your bank account saying? Is it telling you go ahead, or is it telling you is it oh, stop there? You can't afford to do this right now. So, and if it's telling you that, there are other places you can visit. One of the places that I do want to visit, I want to see polar bears. I want to see penguins. I want to see, man, the list is long. Maybe I'm going to do another separate vlog about wildlife that I want to see, not just travel ideas for wildlife and places that you should go. I want to see, gosh, so many things, so many things. And, with polar bears, I've heard how much it costs just to, get out there and get a guide that's going to take you to where the polar bears are, where you don't, kind of mess yourself up by disturbing them or put yourself in danger. So it can get very, very expensive. And I know people have their ways around it. My way around it is obviously selling art and just, till I get to the point where I'm like, out there where I can now comfortably say, okay, maybe this stream of income can pay for this, or this stream of income can pay for that. But anyways, if you're in the same boat, there are places that you wish to travel to, even if it's not for wildlife. Leave a comment below. I would really, really love to see what you have to say about places you want to go to. And you know what? I'm going to make this fun. Comment below places that you would like to go to, and I will tell you what wildlife you can find there. Let's do that. All right, so those are some travel ideas, and again, some barriers to getting to these places, which is what your bank account says, and for wildlife. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this behind the art, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. Bye.